In the land of Calradia, there are 6 great kingdoms, each led by one who claims that they are the rightful ruler of the land. For hundreds of years, kings and queens have fought and died in a struggle to rule the realm. Only the strongest kingdom will survive. In these lands there are bandits waylaying caravans and adventurers, knights who fight for their liege lords, and those few lords who are cunning enough to take the throne for themselves. This story is not about kings waging wars against other kings or lords plotting against other lords. This story is about a young boy. As a child, the boy and his family lived off of his father's wages as a guardsman for the local lord in the vaguer town of Uzlum. The boy's father was a veteran warrior who served under King Yarlik in the war against Malik the Serpent and his sea raiders. The wages were not enough to get by in these troubled times. As a boy growing out of childhood, he spent most of his time on the streets begging and thieving so his family could eat. His sister Nada was a pretty young girl, always singing in the streets, gathering what coins she could. His brother never contributed much and spent most of his time reading books and listening to stories. His father never approved of the boy thieving, but could do little to say otherwise when his family was starving. The boy was clever and never took risks that could get him caught. Years had passed and the boy grew to be a promising young man and was named squire to a noble at court. It would seem the boy's father had some part to play and wanted to send him down a different path other than that of thievery. The boy had no real choice in the matter and worked long hours practicing with weapons and learning different techniques with various blades. He learned the courtesies of the court, but also old warriors' tales of power struggles, betrayals, and knights of legend who used valor to achieve greatness. Winters passed until one day the boy received a letter with terrible news. News so terrible that tears streamed down the boy's face as the words fumbled together in his mouth. Slavers had raided his home village of Uzlum. His sister and brother were taken, and his parents were slain. The letter mentioned that his father had died with his sword in his hand protecting the village. The boy, now a man, decided to leave the life of a squire and set off on his own adventures. He wanted revenge against the slavers for killing his mother and father. He vowed to himself he would find his brother and sister someday if they were still alive. This is a time of war between kingdoms and those caught in between. It's a time of adventure for those with the courage to explore the land. It's a time for the young boy to find his own path. Will he become a knight of legend or a merchant of trade? Will he rob caravans and burn villages, or save peasants from raiders? So begins the story of the young boy named Aviticus Dragon.
There you are, I will kill you.
Not if I have something to say about it. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows, he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me out with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening.
The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while checking the street, and then finally convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak.
Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills driven to banditry by war debt or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers. Fewer men to keep an eye on the streets, you see. but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have someone on the inside, some ally who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here. You don't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly or you wouldn't be coming to Calradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say?
I am interested.
You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try to take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work that's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So, take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go around to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on the bandits.
Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men around the villages.
Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Ravadine after you've got your group together. Then we will speak about what we will do next.
Hi there.
Good day, sir, and welcome to Sumbuya. I am the elder of this village.
Are there any lads from this village who might want to seek their fortune in the wars?
I don't think anyone else will be interested, sir. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, I'll be on my way.
Good day, sir, and welcome to Rabashi. I am the elder of this village.
Are there any lads from this village who might want to seek their fortune in the wars?
I can think of 7 whom I suspect would jump at the chance. If you could pay 10 dinars each for their equipment, does that suit you?
Tell them to make ready.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, fare thee well.
Ugh, what do you want?
Surrender or die.
As you wish. Prepare to die. You have encountered looters. You have 8 troops fit for battle against their 9. and the battle was won. You and your men were victorious.
Good day, sir, and welcome to Esmeralda. I am the elder of this village.
Are there any lads from this village who might want to seek their fortune in the wars?
I can think of one whom I suspect would jump at the chance. If you could pay 10 dinars for his equipment, does that suit you?
Tell them to make ready.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, fare thee well. Hi there.
Good day, sir, and welcome to Karendi. I am the elder of this village.
Are there any lads from this village who might want to seek their fortune in the wars?
I can think of 6 whom I suspect would jump at the chance. If you could pay 10 dinars each for their equipment, does that suit you?
Tell them to make ready.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, fare thee well.
Greetings there, brother. Here's to the doom and downfall of all the highborn lords and ladies.
Why do you say that, sir?
It's a long story, but if you get yourself a drink, I'll be glad to tell it. A sergeant I was, in the garrison here at Ravadine. 20 years I stood guard for the city, taking many a hard knock and many a tough fight, till they appointed me a snot-nosed, downy-lipped princeling, barely out of his mother's cradle, as commander of the garrison. He came upon me standing watch atop the tower with my crossbow unstrung. On account of the rain, you see, can't have the cord loosened. The little Prince Snotnose tells me that an unstrung bow is a dereliction of duty. Says he'll have me horsewhipped. And something in me snapped, so I walked off my post. Now I'm here getting drunk, and the devil take tomorrow. If you're looking for work, I can use experienced fighters. Aye now. Well, that's a sight better than swinging from a gibbet for desertion. You won't regret taking me on, brother. I'm a deadeye with a crossbow. A beautiful weapon it is. Can punch through a nobleman's armor and spill his blood upon the ground. And I've trained more raw recruits than you've had hot dinners. Begging your pardon. I don't toady to the highborn. Good man. We'll treat you with the respect you deserve. It's good news, but I'll ask you for one thing, Captain. I have a woman here in Ravidine, a tavern wench, and she has my child in her belly. I want to give her some money before I leave. For the child, you know. Do you think you can spare 200 dinars?
Sorry, I can't afford that at the moment. Perhaps we'll meet again. Splendid work. You have hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Ravidine have told us that there is a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair.
Very well. I shall hunt for bandits.
What do you want?
I've been looking for you. Tell me where you keep your prisoners and I'll let you go.
Those prisoners are only going free if you pay their ransom. Did you bring any silver?
No, but I brought steel.
You have encountered a band of robbers. You have 15 troops fit for battle against their 4. And the battle was won. You and your men were victorious.
Hey, spare me. Spare my life. Let me go and I'll go far away from here and learn an honest trade, and you'll never hear of me again.
I'll spare your life, but in exchange, I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him and give me your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts, and you can go free.
Oh, bless you, sir. Bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in a hideout near Aiki. I'll describe the area nearby in detail so there's no mistaking it.
You approach the hideout. The looters don't appear to have spotted you yet, and you could still sneak away unnoticed. It's a difficult approach to the site, down a narrow defile. It means that only a handful of troops in your party will be able to join the attack, and they will be unable to bring their horses. If the initial attack fails, the looters will easily be able to make for their escape and disperse. Do you wish to attack the hideout, or wait for another occasion? Thank you. Thank you, sir, for rescuing me from those fiends. Did my brother and Ravidine put you onto their track?
Yes, I told him that I would find you. I advise you to return to your family as quickly as you can, and be careful on the road.
With their retreat cut off, the looters fall one by one to your determined attack. Their hideout and their ill-gotten gains are now yours.
Well, my brother is home safe. I'm not sure what to do with him. Maybe pack him off to a university outside of Calradia. That way, if he gets knocked on the head in a street brawl, no one can say it's my fault. But that's not your problem. Here's the rest of your reward. It was well earned.
The money is most welcome, and I'm glad to have been of service.
Good. Now are you interested in making some more?
Possibly. What do you need?
Remember how I told you that the bandits had an ally inside the walls? I think I know who it is. The captain of the watch, no less. Some months ago, this captain, seeing the amount of profit we merchants were making from trade across the frontiers, decided to borrow some money to sponsor a caravan. Unfortunately, like many who are new to commerce, he failed to realize that great profit only comes with great risk. So he sank all of his money into the most expensive commodities, and of course his caravan was captured and looted, and he lost everything. As a consequence, it seems our captain turned to villainy to recoup his fortune. I suppose I'd do the same if, heavens forbid, I ever faced indebtedness and ruination. Now any watch captain worth his salary will have a few thieves and robbers on his payroll to inform on the rest. But our captain decides to employ these bastards wholesale. He brings them into town, lets them do as they will, and takes a share of their take. You've heard of poachers turning gamekeepers? Well, in the unfortunate land of Calradia, sometimes gamekeepers will turn poacher. Luckily, there's still a few brave, honest souls in the watch who've told me how he works. Now, here's my plan. I could bring this to the attention of King Yarlik, Lord of the city, but that would mean an inquiry. My word against the captains, and witnesses can be bought and evidence destroyed, or maybe this whole thing will be forgotten if the enemy comes across the border again. And all I'll get for my trouble is a knife in the ribs. In time of war, you see, a king's eye wanders far from his domain, and his subjects suffer. So I've got another idea. I've got a small group of townsfolk together, some men in my employ and some others who've lost relatives to those bandits. And we'll storm the captain's home and bring him in chains before King Yarlik, hopefully with a few captured bandits to explain how things stack up. All I'll need now is someone to lead my little army into battle, and I can't think of anyone better than you. So what do you say?
How do I know you're telling me the truth?
Oh, well, I suppose it's possible that I found a dozen bandits who are willing to give me their lives to give a passing stranger a false impression of life in old Ravidine. Well, I guess you can't really know if my word is good, but I reckon you've learned by now that my money is good. And there's another 100 dinars, or maybe a bit more, that's waiting for you if you do this last little favor for me. So what do you say?
Alright, I'll lead your men.
Splendid. It's been a long time since I staked so much on a single throw of the dice, and frankly, I find it exhilarating. My men are ready to move on your word. Are you ready?
Yes, give them the sign.
Good. Now strike hard, strike fast, and the captain and his henchmen won't know what hit them. May the heavens be with you.
You leave the tavern and go out to the streets. Nervous-looking young men are waiting in every street corner. You can see they have daggers and clubs concealed under their clothes, and catch a mixture of fear, anticipation, and pride in the quick looks they throw at you as you walk by. Praying that your enemies have not been alarmed by this all too obvious bunch of plotters, you check your weapons for one last time and prepare yourself for the action ahead.
It's time, lads. Up and at them.
The remaining few bandits scatter off to the town's narrow alleys, only to be hunted down one by the angry townsfolk. Making sure that your victory is complete and all the wounded have been taken care of, you and the merchant head to his house to review the day's events.
Ha! Well done. I saw at least 3 of the enemy go down before you. Keep fighting like that and you'll make quite a name for yourself in this land. Unfortunately, about 9 of my lads got themselves wounded. I should go look on them.
Let every villain learn to fear the name of Aviticus Dragon.
Yes. Now a couple of my boys have the watch captain pinned down in a back room with a knife at his throat. I'll need to go drag him before King Yarlik and explain what this breach of peace is all about. You don't need to be a part of that, though. I'll tell you what, if all goes well, I'll meet you in the tavern again shortly and let you know how it all came out. If you don't see me in the tavern, but instead see my head on a spike over the city gate, I'll assume you know enough to stay out of town for a while and forget this whole episode ever happened. So, hopefully we'll meet again.
Aviticus Dragon helped rescue the merchant of Ravedine's brother who was captured by bandits. The merchant asked for his help once more in bringing the captain of the watch to justice, and earned some decent coin for his trouble. Aviticus must now continue on his way, and only time will tell if he will make a name for himself in this land. But what happens next, my friends, is a story for another time.